I hand them out this document, which is on my website, for students about learning. And I tell them, put it on your bathroom mirror, put it in your notebook, read it about 6 or 8, 10 times a day. And this can be your user's guide to the brain. This can be your little student Bible. You learn what you practice. You make mistakes, but making mistakes is part of learning. You have to grow your dendrites, which takes time. I'm not going to read this whole thing because that'll take too long. The main thing is that to remember you are a natural-born learner. They have to know that this is true and that you believe it, that the research shows it, and that kind of confidence creates positive emotions to flood their brain with chemicals that will help the brain learn, think, and remember. So that's how those things all work together. Now let's look at some essential truths about learning. Learning is a constructivist activity. You construct the higher new knowledge on what's already there. For example, a twig will not grow out of thin air. It has to grow off a twig or a branch that's already there. Exact same thing. Remember the tree with our dendrites. They have to grow off a dendrite or that is to say knowledge that's already there. And then they construct it higher and higher. And that's what we have to do in our curriculum, which will also be on my website. Now, the other thing about, then another essential truth, is there are 7 magic words that are the mating call of the brain, if you will. And those words are, see if you can figure this out. The brain says, ooh, that's what I was born to do. So if that is given to the students either explicitly, actually say, see if you can figure this out, or implicitly, the brain is going to be engaged. Engagement is the key thing.
That's when we see the teacher as coach or guide.
And facilitator and presenter of things for them to figure out. And that's where curriculum comes in. How do you have, and it's task-oriented and student-active and student-centered. And that's all curriculum and pedagogical. And that's on my, we don't have time to do that today, but it's on my website. And people like Yuri Treisman and Vince Tinto and others have shown that engagement is key for student learning.
Absolutely.
And when the brain is invited in, the brain is automatically, magically, naturally engaged, and students are motivated to learn. All units and lessons, everything must start with an activity that's no-fail, that every single student can do. And then they can all be ready to connect to the next higher level. So everything student-active, student-centered, an activity, a task for every student to figure out individually. So each person can consult his or her own individual idiosyncratic mind store, because we grow our dendrites and neural networks from what we experienced, and all our experiences are different. So then they get together in small groups, and 3, 4 at the most, and they share and discuss and back and forth. And this stimulates the brain, which gets that chemical stuff going in the brain. And then they come back together, and you don't take notes, you don't have a leader. This is all for individual growth of each person's own brain. And then they come back together and have a general group discussion. And everybody learns from everybody else. And the teacher knows what's missing or what they don't know, and then can create a new activity that will help them catch up or fill in the gap that's missing. And all the details about this and examples of curriculum across the whole range are in on the website. So, and these are all best practices, and they've been classroom proven, and they work, and that's why students can learn the way that student in that grammar class learned.